Several weeks ago, I showed you a video where I was working on an art journal scrapbook of my grandniece's kindergarten year. Her mother had accumulated things throughout my grandniece's kindergarten years, and she asked me if I would scrapbook it or art journal it. I told her I would do it if she didn't care what I did. I told her not to expect a perfect, pristine scrapbook. I started a little series, and to tell you the truth, I only have one video in that series, and I want to continue on with that. I have a lot of projects going, so it doesn't mean that I'm not working on this. It just means that I'm not getting a ton of videos made all the time for it. But I had an inspiration today, and I want to share that inspiration with you, and I want to show you another thing that I have gotten accomplished since my last video. Her dad, who is my nephew, sent to me a packet of photos that they want in the scrapbook art journal, and I said, that's great, fine, let's do that. However, I am not a part of her everyday life, so I don't know everything that goes on for her, and I don't know the names of all of her friends, and when something happened, I can guess, and I can surmise, but I want to know more. So one of the things that I did, and that's what's inside of this package here, is I took each one of the photos that my nephew had sent to me. Let's just say that this is a photo. And first of all, I have this corner cropper. You may have something similar, but I actually used the photo cropper to crop each one of the corners of each photo that he sent. Now take 50 photos times 4 corners. That's almost 200 punches right there. I took cardstock, and this was 8.5 by 11 cardstock, so I cut it down to size to fit the 6 by 4 photos. This is just a test one that I did, and this is a darker one, but I outlined it with silver. And then let's pull out another piece here. I started matting these photos. So take 50 photos times all this work. It's a lot of work, and anybody who does scrapbooking already knows this. It takes some time. But then, as I said, I don't know everything that happened in her everyday life. So what I did is I took a sheet of paper, and let's just grab a blank sheet from the back here, because I don't want to really show her photographs in my video. That's really her private information and her privacy. But I want to show you a sample. So let's just say this is a photo of my grandniece, and I've matted it and cropped it. Then I took some painter's tape and put on the back of here and mounted it on a blank sheet of paper. Let's just do that with some washi tape. So you have, let's just say that this is a photo that you have, and you have mounted it and matted it, but you're doing this for someone, and you don't know the complete story. So take your photo and put it on a piece of just scrap paper. I used cheap notebook paper. Probably got it at the dollar store or Goodwill. And mount it on your notebook paper. Then set up a time where you can sit down with whoever you're doing this project for and go through each one of the photos. Now, I guessed at the date, but say, okay, this happened in May. Date it so that you can organize your photos by date. And that's especially important in my case because this is her kindergarten year. I want to go August through June, or I want them in some sort of an order. And then give it a topic. Say this is in May, let's say This is her kindergarten graduation. Kindergarten grad. Okay, then what school? Ask your questions. Dee Dee will love this. Dee Dee Willingham is good on this. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. Ask those questions, even though you may not have an answer for each one or may not need an answer for each one. Who? Well, it's my grandniece, so I'll put GN here just out of sake of time. What is her kindergarten graduation? When is in May. When was May, and I put 15th. Where? In this case, it was at her school. You may know the school's name, but you want to document, so you'll put school name. And I'm just scribbling here. School name. What? Why? Why? Well, she graduated. And in the case of my grandniece, we have a picture of her when the kindergartners graduated. They, each one in her class, got up and recited a nursery rhyme. And so I imagine, to say that that was her photo, I'll put reciting her nursery rhyme. And then they got a certificate. I think it was like a, I don't remember the exact name of it, but they got a certificate for graduating. It was like nursery rhyme baccalaureate or something like that. So go through each one of the photos in your photo pack and do that. Even if you think you know everything about that photo, document it. Put it on a piece of scratch paper and write as much as you know about that photograph. And then if you have questions, make a time, sit down with the person who is asking you to do the scrapbook, and make a time and document everything about that photo that they know. And of course, some things will cross over, but they'll fill in information for you that you don't know, which will be a good documentation to put in the scrapbook art journal. So that was my first share of this video that I wanted to share with you that I've done. It took me a while to do all that. And then I documented, I separated by date the best I knew and documented as much as I knew. And then I sat down with her mother and we went through each one of those. And I can't tell you what a help that was for me. It's not, surely not done yet, but I have a lot more information to go off of. Here's a sample of one that I used. This was her kindergarten graduation. This is the photo underneath here. I put a mat over it for her privacy. But here I got the names of some of the children that were sitting in the background. When she's 30 years old, she's not going to remember, probably not remember who Eli was, who Josiah was. She may not, but at least you have that information on here and go, oh yeah, that was Eli. I remember Eli. Her school was Wallace. The verse that she recited, oh here, they received a Bachelor of Rhymes as their graduation certificate. How cool is that? I don't think I have a photo of that, but I'm going to get one because it belongs in this scrapbook. Oh, they sang a Beatles song for their teacher, who is Mr. Donnelly. He was retiring after this year, so they kind of had a going away event for him too. Here Comes the Sun was one of the songs that they sang, and it was in May. I didn't get the date, but I think the date is dated on the photo itself. So this is the type of thing that you want to do when you are creating the photos for your scrapbook. It just gives you a good base to work on when you start creating your actual pages. Now, the next thing that I want to do is actually a project. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I have some scrap papers here that I saved when I was doing the collages on those pages that I showed you in my other video. It will be in a playlist, or I'll put a link to it. But what I want to do is create what I'm calling some kids washi tape. And she has some homework here. I'm not going to use all of it, but I may go through and pick things like she received a little sticker here. And I think I'll work on these, because she's got stickers on these too. Look, cool, fun. Let's work with these. But collect things like this, that when your child brings home papers from school, don't go, oh, that's nice, and save them for a week and then throw them away. Especially if you're going to create a scrapbook or ask somebody else to create a scrapbook, save them, because that's good scrapbook fodder. You may not think so, but the person who's working on the scrapbook will. I'm going to get this out of the way. These are just my scrap mats. You'll want to save these too, because I guarantee you I will be using these throughout the project. This is just what I had left over from adding the photos. Kids washi tape. How fun is this going to be? These are some of her workbook pages. I tore up one of her workbooks. She brought home 2 or 3 of them that her mother saved. And I saved one in complete order so that she can look at it later. But I'm using the others as fodder. And these happen to be the stack where I saved with the stickers on it. So let's just take a few of these. I like this one because it's got 3 stickers on it. And this one's very colorful. Let's take those 2 from now. I have a whole set that I can work from. Now, you need a cutting mat and a ruler. And you don't have to be precise. I'm going to cut 1 inch. And I'm going to cut around these stickers, I believe. But they may not even be 1 inch. Let's just cut. And in this case, there's just exercises that she did on the back. But this will be the back and these will be the front. There's no stickers on the back, so I'm okay with that. Let's just cut some right here. Some that are cut nice and some that are kind of scrunched up here. That's okay. I might just tear this off here. Save that scrap. Let's take this one for an example. If you have one of these Xyron sticker makers, that really helps. We're going to make washi tape, so we're going to run this through our Xyron machine here. I have some left in here. I'll probably have to get me another little packet before my book is over with. I also have some of this remoistenable licking stick. Now this is an old glue stick that I haven't used in a long time. But the idea behind this licking stick is that you moisten it and let it dry, and you should be able to come back later and just moisten it again. I don't know if this is still available on the market. I really haven't been looking for it, but you might look for a product such as this or this if you can find it, and then you can just put it on your washi tape and come back later and moisten it and glue it down. I'm not going to use it. I'm just suggesting it. You can also use double-sided score tape. I've been using quite a bit of mine. It's, you can tell, I'm about out of it here. I might use that on my smaller piece here just as an example. You can get double-sided tape from like the Scotch brand and different brands of double-sided tape. You don't have to use score tape. It just happens to be what I have. But I'm going to use the sticker maker as an example here. And let's just put it through. What you do is you feed it in there. Anybody who uses these knows the routine. And then you just pull it through, kind of try to keep it in the center so that it gets entirely on the sheet, and just pull it through. I really do like these for these types of projects. There you go. And then you want to take the back end of your scissors or anything like this to burnish it down. You're just burnishing the paper to the sticker paper. Let's put it right here. This is out of her workbook, and she had circled they met a mean pig for some reason, and she got a hooray sticker for it. I got a little wrinkle in it. Don't worry too much about, if you're doing something in an art journal-y, artsy fashion, don't worry too much about being perfect. You only want perfection if you're using acid-free paper and if you're a perfectionist. This is a very artsy approach. Let's try another one. Let's put one. Now see, this one is very irregular. Did they ride to the park? Put it right up here. Okay, so this video was really all about using your children's workbooks if they had brought them home. If they haven't brought them home, see if you can't rescue them from the school. I mean, this is September. You may not be able to get them until May or June, but my grandniece's school let them bring home the books, and yeah, this is good fodder for washi tape. Now you could use pieces of art that she brings home. Maybe you have a stack that high and you're going, well, pick out the pieces that you think will make good washi pages. Maybe some are better than others. Save the better ones and use up the ones that are, use up the ones that have words on them and fun things like this. And then another thing you can do is, don't stop at just using that. Do something fun. To summarize, what we've done in this video was discussed some ways to mat and mount your photos and document them Put them on pieces of scratch paper and write down as much as you know about that photo. Meet with the person that you're doing this for. Find out everything that they know about it. Ask those questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Get as much documentation as you can possibly get, because when they're 30 years old, that will mean something to them. The other thing that we worked on was making homemade, I'm going to call this kids washi tape, by using, if you have access to their old workbooks, their old school workbooks, I'm using pages that had stickers that she earned on her pages, and I'm using my ruler and utility knife to cut strips of what I'm calling washi tape. And then in my instance, I fed it through this Xyron sticker maker to make washi tape to put on my pages as I create them. And you may want to even make them thinner than an inch, such as here. The boy said, "Give me." And I think that word says that. But you may want to even use it across the photo like that. I have bordered the pages with my washi tape on this sample. I put my sample photo down. I use some paint to border the page, and then I'll come back and I'll use that journaling to journal about that photograph right in here. And there'll probably be more that I'll do to this page as I go along. For right now, this is a good start to a page background, and I'm using some fun techniques. Kids washi tape. How fun is that? Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next page.